Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Jane Kim, and of course this is the channel where we get to discuss all about the exciting future alongside the evolvement of AI. Today we're very lucky because we have a special guest, Isaac, who is not only a multi-potentialite, but also a highly talented software and AI engineer who's building, very interesting things, including an AI model. And today I was very curious to hear from him because he's not only an expert of, Python, Django, Flutter, all that good stuff, but he's also, again, building very interesting things as part of his own projects, including custom chatbots using the OpenAI API. So I wanted to focus a little bit about that part. But before we begin, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Isaac? Welcome to my channel, of course.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be here. And my background, yes, let me just introduce myself. My name is Isaac Yakubu. I'm a software engineer and I'm an AI enthusiast. I'm always passionate. I always feel excited I feel happy to talk about anything that deals with AI, and that this is science, and that anything that deals with science, technology, anything that deals with programming. So that's just what I'm always passionate to talk or to work on. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. So back to the OpenAI API topic. I got to come across some of your YouTube videos, which are all very, very interesting. And I wanted to focus on, how you're utilizing the OpenAI API to build and create chatbots. For example, you're building a chatbot for recommendations and things like that, right? So how are this coming along, and how did you get interested in all this stuff, and what else you are building using this guy?
First of all, before I can come up with any project, as I always have it in my mind as an idea, because all these
Mm,
big projects we have nowadays, all this Facebook, all this WhatsApp, all this Telegram and Instagram, they start with an idea or someone. So when someone has this idea in mind, I'm passionate about working on this idea, and I'll sacrifice everything I have to do this thing. So the person will go extra miles to work on it. That's where the actions will come in. So person will have to work on the idea to make it come to reality. So for example, if the person has technical background or building the software product, the person can build it by himself or by herself. So at the end, he has to put it up and make it as a reality so people outside the world, the end users outside the world can make use of the product or the software. And if the software is okay, the first baby of a software of a product is just the MVP. That's the minimum viable product. So at the end, if the end users are okay with MVP, that place can iterate over that product or software and make it more cool or more user friendly for the end users. And at the end, that person can the product or the product funder can make it go viral. At the end, launch an IPO on product too. So those are the steps it takes to be into this tech to be able to be the product, solve the product for end users. So regarding your question about Open API. It just come to me as an idea that day when I was sitting on my office space, my office seat, and I was like, I have not played with this Open API product before, Open AI in the service before. Let me just give it a try, and maybe showcase this to my people outside the world via the YouTube channel I created. So that day I just think about it, and I was like, which part of the product will I work on? Which part of it should I pick? I decided to pick iPhone because iPhone most users of smartphone make use of iPhone, especially in North American world, in all this European world too. They make use of iPhone compared to the Android version. So I just pick iPhone, and I just have to draft it out my paper because I beside my laptop here, I'm always having my paper and pen. Let me show you. Can you see it?
Oh, thank you so much. Okay. That is
So
awesome.
it's to make it more fun and more easy for you to grasp when you are thinking about it in your mind. Because when you think
Mm,
about it in your mind, you just have to drive it out on paper and pen. So when you drive it out on your paper, you're able to know how you can solve the problem and using your software programming skills, and at the end build the product that your end users will love to use. So and that day I just decided to use iPhone as a niche, and I pick iPhone as a niche. I was just scrolling through the the documentations of Open API
Mm,
and API documentations. So when I was running through the documentations, I was like, wow, this is just fun. This is it what to make use of as a software engineer. Because most time as a software programmer or software engineer, when you want to make use of a third parties and API services, first
mm,
of all you have to check through the documentations. If the documentation is user friendly, it's more okay. It makes it more faster for you to build on top of their services with time. And if the documentation is not user friendly, is not well comprehensive enough, it will be hard for you to make use of their API services to build up on top of it. So those are the things I was checking. That was the second day of me working on this project, and after checking the documentation, I see this documentation is comprehensive. I was able to draft draft what I want on my paper, the UI of what I want, UI of the product I want to build. I draft my paper, and I was able to work since before this time, before I work on this project, I have a template already, a UI template now to use for this project. So it was more easy for me to work on this project with time.
mm,
So after drafting out the whole algorithm, so how this software will work at the back end, because most times when you are dealing with softwares, you have software involves three processes.
mm,
A software product involves these three processes. The first process is the input, the second process is the processing part, and the last process is the output. The input is where you work on this and the algorithms part, the user flow, the flow chart of how the software work. That's the input. The processing is where the back end, after you might have built this product, after this project or the software might have gone live, this is where the processing will take off either via the cloud or via um, any hosting platform is that to use for this software product. And the output is where these users will interface with the product or software product you build. Do you get
mm.
my point?
I I think I get your point in that first, like I'm way going back to the beginning of your talk, and everything started from an idea, right?
Yes.
And it gets complicated, and you need to have the knowledge in terms of problem solving, which is the crucial part of because you get to come along and come across all these different issues and problems and all that, and you use these different tactics, including when you are building the chatbots for recommendations. I'm not very knowledgeable in terms of the technical side of what you're talking about, so I may not be getting this like totally perfectly 100%, but it's good because you have your own YouTube channel where you get to give us the rundown of the things of what you're doing. You are getting very specific in terms of how you're utilizing the coding so that it can be realized into the outside world, so that users can actually use them. So thank you so much about being open, first of all, to share your knowledge with the world. That was especially what I was very, very impressed about. And also your attentiveness to the details helped us out as a viewers, because it's very easily explained so that it's very, anybody can actually follow what you're doing. So I think it's a very, very good thing, very inspirational. And moving on to my next question, actually, how did you get to decide that you wanted to become an AI engineer? May I ask that
Yes.
question?
Yes. This is a good question. I love the question. So I think I just remember. I remember how I started then. So I think the all this journey, this software journey started then when I was in my undergrad. When I was my undergraduate, I studied mathematics. As my undergraduate degree, after finishing with the Bachelor of Science in Mathematics, during my study period, I came across software coding of a team. And during that period, I always watch these inspiring videos of this Masgaba Bigiot. They're talking about
Mm,
software, they're talking about coding then when I was my undergrad. So I was like, wow, this is the part of the world I want to belong to. I was so happy, I was so excited then during my undergraduate period. So after finishing my study, I decided to bought my first laptop then. After buying my first laptop, then after my studies, I came across this my first programming language as JavaScript. That was when I come across JavaScript. That was when I was like, wow, let me just play with this thing. I after that period, I bought a book then. And this
Mm.
book is about the basics of programming for a beginner level. That's the title of the book. So that was when I was able to what play with JavaScript, learn how to um, build algorithms with JavaScript, learn how to build problem solving stuff with JavaScript, and I was able to use flowchart. I was able to use pseudocode to solve problems, to build algorithms, and I was able to create some little things for myself using what I've worked on as a beginner level then. So that was when I come across if condition. That was when I come across if statement. That's when I come across while loop and for loop. Those are the key things, key big structure of algorithms or programming then. So that was how I started then, and it was around last year I come across. Is it last year? It was around last year. I can't remember vividly which particular day, which particular month. So it was that period I came across. Okay, let me remember. I thank God I remember. It was when I was in undergrad. One of my friend, this is an experience too. Let me tell you. One of my close friend when I was in undergrad shared a video for me, and this video is like a science fiction video, the science fiction movie then. So I watched the science fiction movie, and this movie I was seeing a robot. I was like, this robot can talk. I, I was I was so happy then. Like, how can people make a robot talk inside the movie? So I was inspired. That moment enter my memory, enter my soul. I was like, wow, this is part of what I want to belong to. And since I think that was the first period I heard the word programming. I mean, while watching the movie, I saw a robot talking to a woman, like a woman computer interaction. So I was like,
Mm.
wow, what was what I want to belong to. And I was so happy that day. That day was Sunday. I can remember that the weekday of that day. That day was particularly Sunday. So I was after watching the movie, my mindset, my thinking, my philosophy about science, about technology changed that day for that moment. So
Mm.
it was that period I've been like that fire has been inside me to work on this thing, to work on this part of the world. And I think that was the period I come across robots. And after finishing my undergrad, I was like, wow, this is where I want to check out how this robot is built. So I was just doing the normal Google research that day. Let me just search on Google. How is a robot built? It was then I come across Internet of a Thing. It was then I come across automations. It was then I come across all these big terms in robotics. So I was like, wow, this is just like an hardware and software interaction, an hardware and software interaction inside the robot. So I think those are the big moment or period that gathered up to being where I am today. Because without those moments at that period, I don't think I'll be where I am today. So those are things that gathered. Those are the moments and memories that have gathered up that have helped me to be where I am today. And that was when I come across because we had that movie. I was able to check and make research like to fuel my curiosity, to fuel my hunger on this robot and this robotism stuff like that. And at the end, I was like came across that word AI after making some research that period. I
Oh.
come and say, I said, what's this AI all about? So I make research, and at the end, I was like, wow, the AI is of it just like making a machine to simulate animal intelligence. That's how I can define what AI is. Like if I can make a robot or any machine to simulate what I can do, to simulate the intelligence of what a woman can do with their memory, their brain. It's just what AI is all about. So I was like, let me just pick up a course. That was last year. I picked up some courses on NLP, natural language
Oh.
processing. It's a sub topic under AI too. So that was when I come across NLP. I was like, let me just work on this project and build a robot, like a chatbot,
Mm.
using my NLP certifications. After I've passed the certification, I was able to work on some project. This chatbot is one of them, and I was able to work on it. And at the end, I was able to launch it out. And I even at the end sent the links to my friend to play with it, play with this software I've worked on, software I've built, and they were happy and excited. They were able to see what I worked on, to see the end result of what I see the end result of what I built. So it was just those moments and those curiosity at that first moment that gather up to where I am today. Because without those moments, without those memories, without those special memory I had in the first place, I don't think I'll be where I am today. But I just thank God for everything. It's just Just a pleasant moment. Just a pleasant moment that I had then. So I think I've answered your question, Miss Chin.
It's it's very interesting to hear. And also I'm very glad to hear the word NLP coming from you because I was very into the whole NLP realm. I
Okay.
would say for the last 1 to 2 years, 1 years extensively. So I was very lucky in discovering the little basics of how the whole NLP process works. And one thing I realized in my journey is African languages are kind of huge in this realm of NLP. And I believe you must be the right person to talk about this. Um, like how big of an industrial trend is it that African languages are, you know, being embraced in terms of the NLP programming or services or products? How is it that our African languages are so huge in terms of NLP? Like I see so many things in your languages. Of course, there are many languages, all different, all unique, all
Too many
appreciated.
of them
But
in Africa.
from how you see, how is this trend coming along? Like, do you agree with
Okay.
me in the first place?
Yes, okay. What do you say?
Do you agree in that NLP is huge?
It's
It's evolving ever more like faster in your part of the
well,
world.
very well. Well, well, well,
Yeah,
well.
right.
Well,
So, do you have anything to share about this?
okay, okay. Before I answer your question, I will just give you a little inkling of how our AI is all about. AI, AI, believe AI is divided into like four, three categories. So we have the what's it called? The supervised learning. I've heard about
Mm,
supervised learning before. Supervised learning. You have the unsupervised learning. You have the reinforcement learning. So these are the like three categories, major categories, and that AI is all about. So any AI that you really see today, any product, any software that you really see today that is AI based is built on top of these three categories. I think we have the fourth one, which is about deep learning. So this where this deep learning comes in is where you make use of all these AI libraries like TensorFlow, like SciTouch, and PyTorch. The name is PyTorch and stuff like that. So that's just what this AI is all about. The categories of AI. So to answer your question now, I believe you might have seen a library I built using my native language, and
mm,
uh, let me just put it this way. I recently I work on a Python package where I make use of may I build it like a dictionary that will translate English to Yoruba
mhm.
using my software skills. So I think that was the um, first experience I had using this NLP skill set I have in AI. So
Mm,
during my period of working on that project as a software, it was then I come across some um, some libraries, some NLP libraries in Python where you can like remove what's it called? Remove all these characters, all these dirty characters in text. That is anything that is textual data. You can use this NLP library to remove those those debris um, stuff like that inside this library. So I think that was those experience I gathered during my first time working on anything that is NLP. So I can also see that this in African country, this 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 part of the nature of the language is a part of the nature of language is yet to develop part because not everybody knows much about AI. Can you hear me?
yes. So,
Yeah, not everybody know.
mhm,
It's like an underdeveloped niche inside NLP. Because if I
mm,
can remember, I came across a period when I worked on this project, and I shared on my LinkedIn profile, and a lecturer from London came to my DM, and I was like surprised when this person came to my DM on LinkedIn. This person was asking me how I came across this project of building a what in English and Yoruba translation.
mm.
Yoruba is my native language. Can you hear me?
So
Yoruba is
it's
my native language, part of
yes.
Africa. So during that period, I used this NLP skills I have acquired to build a project that was able to translate English language to Yoruba language for me. And that lecturer in London was surprised. He was amazed with this project, and at the end, he was able to say, I really want to work. I really want to work with you on a research project." So I was like, "Wow, this will be a good thing for me to work." And that's what I've learned about NLP, about AI, working with the lecturer in London. So I think to your question, this NLP part of the AI in the system of African languages is yet to known or yet to develop well system or a niche. So I really encourage if we as an African can really learn more about AI, learn more about NLP, so we can get our children, our youngsters that they are still young, like catch them young with these AI skills. Let them know about what this AI can bring the benefit in terms of technology, in terms of other niche, because AI is a multifunctional niche. You can use the functions in any part of the niche. You can use it in agriculture, you can use it in research, you can use it in fashion, you can use it in any niche of the economy. So that's where this AI can be useful for. So I think we as Africa, if we can encourage youngsters to work on this computer and science related course to make it more enlightened to them on the benefit on the gain this AI and this NFP can bring to our economic system, which will be of the benefit to us in terms of language, especially just to make it more awesome for us, make it more modern for us. Like it's just like we promote our culture in terms of our language and our background, our tribe, stuff like that. Those are things that AI or the NLP part, NLP skills will be useful for. So I think I've answered your question.
I can feel that you are believing in the positive future that AI technology will be bringing us, right? Okay,
Sure, sure.
that's awesome. I think AI is such a powerful, paradigm changing, shifting technology too. Of course, everybody is watching it right
So,
now, and
so as I am now, if I can gather people like me myself, and like if I can have like community, like an AI community in my area here, we can go to our secondary school, our high school period. We can go to our secondary school student, our high school student, and let them give like create an awareness for them on what the benefits of AI and NLP will create or bring to them and to the economy and to our government and to our country at large. It will be awesome. It will be all inspiring. So it will be something I would really want to work on if I can see people like me and people that all this or have this technical skills that I possess with myself. Can gather around, create a group like 10 or 20 people like myself, and we'll go to all these university schools, high schools, and secondary schools, and talk to our young stars, our secondary school students, our young people on how what this AI is, what are benefit you can gain as a skills to them, and to help to improve their lives, and at the end to help to improve our economy and the country at large. Those are the things we are really want to work on too. I think those are the ways of where we can imbibe more of AI and NLP skills to our younger staff and to those who are yet to be adults in our country here and
Mhm.
to Africa at large. That would be a good thing.
I see. So it can be beneficial from various, aspects, I believe. So again, thank you so much for being here. I had such a fun time talking with you, but I really, really recommend all of our viewers and listeners to visit Isaac's fascinating YouTube channel, because you'll then discover so much more from such a comprehensive perspective about what Isaac is doing, and also about African language NLP a little bit, and also a lot about programming and building chatbots and bots. So thank you again so much for your time and your willingness to sharing what you know with all of us out here.
Okay. Is that all about your question? I really
Oh
wish we
yes,
can ask
yeah,
more
this
questions.
was my last question. Did you want to say bye to everyone? So this will
Yes,
be,
let me
yeah,
say bye.
I
If that's all about question.
okay. Thank you
I
so
really wish
much
you can
again.
ask.
I'll
I
see
really
you
wish.
around.
I really wish you can ask more question, but it's okay if you don't have any other question again. okay by me.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Wish you all the
Pleasure.
best.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Jane.
Bye bye.